good afternoon. It's noon, Tuesday, August 17th, 2021. Declare the Historic Preservation Board meeting open. All right. Citizens may speak on action items listed on the agenda. The request to speak card should be completed and returned to the city clerk or board secretary prior to the board reaching this section of the agenda. Citizen comments are limited to 3 minutes unless otherwise required by law. Comments related to public hearings, if any, will be heard when the specific hearing is called. Moving along to item A, receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on the July 20th, 2021 meeting minutes.
I move approval of the July 20, 2021 meeting minutes. Anderson.
Have a second?
A second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? There being none, then the minutes are accepted as written. Moving on to item B, receive a report, hold a discussion, and take action on a request to repaint the facade at 515 West Main Street, case number 2021-048H. Mr. Smith?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. On behalf of the Development Service Department, appreciate the opportunity to present this case to you. I would like to walk through some of the background. I think you have information in your packet, so I won't go over all the details of the packet, but the primary purpose of this request is for an alternative color that's been applied to the building at 515 West Main Street. The color on the right was previously approved through a certificate of appropriateness. The color on the left has been added to the building recently, and that is depicted in the middle area of the building on your right-hand slide. So it's noted in the staff report, the applicant did receive previous approval for the primary color, but chose to add the additional showstopper color, and that is a request before you this afternoon is for approval of that. Staff is recommending denial of the color. We typically refer to, as most cities do, is the National Trust for Historic Preservation is kind of the guiding light for applications before historic preservation boards and Main Street associations. We know that colors are extremely important. I know there's a lot of judgment that can go into who believes which color is appropriate, so we feel that it's important that we rely on the people that have been in the business a lot longer than I have as far as appropriateness in main streets. Historic districts are by design. The quality and the aspects that people love about historic districts do not happen by accident. They happen by purpose and design, and that's why there's a lot of attention to detail that are applied in historic districts that you do not see in normal developments on your other thoroughfares and highways. They're by purpose, and typically they're there because of the unique nature of the history of the region. Just want to bring up some points about some things that kind of popped up in other cities' Main Street programs and historic districts that they noted publicly. And that is that their historic buildings are reminders of their heritage, history, and character. They preserve neighborhoods and cities which otherwise might be lost to development, which do not respect or appreciate the heritage these local locations represent. Historic districts provide a refuge from change, which often can be difficult to control or manage. Historic districts are living, dynamic areas where change is managed for the benefit of its residents. And I only bring this to you is that this is a very unique situation that we have in Denison. We have one of the longest main streets in the state of Texas. As you've seen over time, it has brought great benefit to the area, and it's one of our greatest assets that we have. I cannot tell you in the 7 months that I've been here how many developers have come and asked for pre-application development meetings to build somewhere within a mile or two of the downtown area because of the sole fact of our historic Main Street and the type of assets that it brings to the community, and they know that would bring to their development to be located within a development such as this. So, Mr. Chairman, you have a staff recommendation for denial. I know while this is not a public hearing, citizens can speak, and I would probably encourage you to allow the applicant to speak next if appropriate.
Mr. Arrington, would you like to address the board?
We have a statement prepared to.
So I'll make it under 3 minutes. My name's Devin Arrington. Thank you for letting me speak today. I'm the wife of Kevin Arrington. I filled out all the forms, so I'm going to take the responsibility for why we're here today. A little about me. I came in here in 2017 from Denton, Texas. Met Kevin, finally convinced him to let me redo the gym in the building, and then here we are today. A little bit of background on me. Graduated from Dean's List and University of North Texas with a business management degree with human resource management. The reason why this petition was brought on social media the way it wasn't because we disagree with the Historical Preservation Board. It has nothing to do with that. We're big supporters of keeping Main Street where it needs to be, supporting growth, moving forward, not moving backwards. The reason we created the petition was because of Bill Medina. Bill Medina, when he approached us when we were painting the building, we were almost done painting the red. That's why you see a two-tone on there, which I saw in the argument that y'all don't like the two-tone color. The city doesn't. We put the two-tone on there because we darkened our paint black to try to smooth over things with Bill Medina. How we got here today is when we went to the city meeting to fill out the paperwork, we were told that there were thousands of color choices. I mean, when she brought them out to us, there were 1 million color choices. She stated, and I quote, "As long as you get close to the color, we're good. We're not talking about structure, we're talking about color. We're in the process of revamping our colors, shortening the list, and you'll go to Lowe's to get the colors." When we met with Bill Medina, we were told there's a short list of colors and you got to go to Sherman-Williams for them. When I Googled the National Preservation Palette colors, it's very confusing. There's not just one website that takes you there and says these are the colors. I'm going to shorten this because it was a little bit longer. I want to explain what happened. When we were painting that day, Bill Medina approached us on the sidewalk. I had no idea who he was, and nor did Kevin, and that's a common issue we're hearing amongst Main Street owners since our petition has taken control of the media and social media. With over 2,600 signatures to support our color and over thousands of comments, I could only find probably 10 comments that supported y'all's decision to deny our color. The rest of Denison, which I printed off their location of where they lived, supported the change, supported moving forward, and were grateful that they saw 2 business owners put in their own money into our building. This building was declared historical in 2017, and we just found that out yesterday on our own. We were never told that Kevin revamping his own building created y'all to get money for your historical building preservation board. When Kevin bought the building, it didn't even have a front door. It looked nothing like it did during your historical time period. Kevin made it look that way. He made it part of the 36% of the buildings down here that received the grants for Denison. One of the big issues we're running into is that there's a big discrepancy between what business owners feel like the city wants. The city says one thing, they act a different way. Y'all want to move forward, so here we are trying to move forward. I have yet to find one business owner that has anything nice to say about Bill Medina. I'm sure there is someone somewhere, but I've yet to see them or find them stick up for him on the thousands of comments this issue has created on social media. I think it's safe to assume the city and the historical board and mayor are all well aware of the issues the citizens and business owners are having with Bill. So if I have to fall on the sword for all of us, then I'm falling on it. One man is pushing businesses out of Main Street, preventing others from wanting to rebuild or restore their buildings. When he came to us that day, he was extremely rude, got into a screaming match with my husband in front of CJ's, to the point where other business owners and people came out to stick up for Kevin. Now, 20 minutes later, Donna Dow came and talked to us. She was calm, collected. I'm not saying she was on our side, but she helped us. That's what we wanted from Bill Medina. Bill gets paid no matter if Denison succeeds, but our businesses and homeowners do not. We are fighting on a shade of red, and we are about to tear up Main Street. Do you understand what I'm saying? Businesses and tourism are going to take a hit from this, and y'all want to fight us on a shade of red that is the history of Denison, with the train station and train cars all being red. You tore down a historical high school for $500,000 when we asked you not to, and the historical board did as well. You don't care about the citizens here, Bill. You're an overpaid hallway monitor, and your power has gone too far. The way you spoke to us was beyond disrespectful. As a woman, you totally disregarded me and started screaming at my husband, when in fact, I was the one with the business degree and the one that filled out the forms. We have over 820 comments on social media, 150 Facebook shares, 2,600 local signatures. 98% of positive reviews, I counted 98%. And we are concerned about a shade of red when there are potholes that are killing our cars, a homeless population that needs to be addressed, and major alleyway issues and issues in Denison that have yet to be addressed. In closing, we support the preserving of these buildings, but it is the people who buy and invest their money into maintaining these buildings, not Bill Medina. Clearly, there's an issue with the relationship between the city and fellow citizens and businesses, and that is obvious on the comments on social media that I hope you have all read. Something needs to change. Instead of worrying so much about tourism, when you are literally about to tear up Main Street, you need to worry about creating positive relationships amongst your own community and businesses so that Denison will succeed. People are not going to visit Denison and go, oh my gosh, that shade of red offends me. People will visit Denison and see the roads, potholes, falling down buildings, vacant lots, construction's homeless population, disgusting alleyways, grass growing on the
Excuse me,
sidewalk,
Mrs.
overflowing
Harrington?
dumpsters, street lights that don't work, Christmas
Mrs.
lights in windows
Harrington,
all year long,
Are
and
you
so
about
much more.
finished?
I'm done.
Thank you. Mr. Arrington, do you have anything to add?
No, that covers it all.
Okay. Have anyone else out there that wishes to add to this?
Yes, I filled out a card.
Do you have something new to say, sir?
I'm here to comment as a citizen.
Okay.
I filled out a card, so don't try to skip people over. I'm not gonna be as gracious as Ms. Arrington. You can guarantee that.
Will you state your name and address for the record, please?
Roy Reed, and I don't want to give my address. I don't know, it needs to be publicly put out there. I don't think
Thank
it
you,
needs to be
Mr. Reed.
necessary. I am a citizen of Denison, a lifelong citizen of Denison, born and raised here. And I'm pretty much disgusted at the way this town has gone from my childhood to now. People see the improvements and think things are great, which it's nice to have buildings redone and all this, but we're also losing touch with the core, which is people like me that were born and raised here that have been driven out by things that are been done here and the gentrification. As far as the color of her building, it looks great. And Kevin's building, it looks great. It looks great. As she said, 2,600 people signed the petition, and the comments, all of them in support of this color. We, the people, are tired of overburdening and, quite frankly, nothing better to do, people like y'all, telling us what we can do with the buildings and houses that we pay the taxes on, and to continue to get raised taxes and raised values to where the point most people can't afford it and have to move. I find it highly ironic that the city of Denison took me to court because my house needs to be painted, yet here they are because they painted their place. So it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Which way is it going to be? You can't have it both ways. As Ms. Arrington said, no one's looking at the buildings because they're too busy looking at the potholes in the street, driving down the road and dodging them. You know, I know a lot of people that had to do a ton of work to their vehicles because of the potholes, busted tires, busted front ends.
All right, thank
That's
you,
what we should worry. It's not been 3 minutes. You try to cut me off? 3 minutes.
Go ahead, sir.
You got your timer?
Go right ahead.
All right. That's the problem. See, you are an example of the problem. You don't want to hear what the people have to
I'm
say.
listening to you, sir.
Well, you try to cut people off and shut them up. You don't want to hear what the people have to say. They sit up here and listen or pretend to listen, but then they don't vote the way the people want. I think that you only have one person opposed to this, the city, and you have at least 2,600. You should approve this and not have them go through the expense, especially someone who's a first responder and puts their life on the line every day to go through the great expense of repainting something that looks great. You got a building right here with penises hanging off of it. You got all these murals around town, and I'm quite sure that all the colors on those murals are not in your color palette. So let's start checking those and getting those taken care of, okay? You got some really gaudy dumpsters decorated, and most of all, you've got a big caboose sitting down here. It's the same color as that building. So if they have to paint that, I want the caboose painted because it's not historic for the area.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. Anyone else? There being no more discussion, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chair, I move to deny the request to use Valspar HGSW 1052 Showstopper on the exterior of the facade at 515 West Main, Anderson.
Do I have a second?
A second.
Those in favor?
Aye, Anderson.
Opposed? There being none, then the appeal has been denied. Thank you all. Okay, moving on. Staff updates. Mr. Smith or Mr. Medina?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, rest of the board. It's item 3A. Receive a report, hold a discussion, and provide direction on a proposed banner to screen 2 vacant lots across the street on 300 block of West Main Street. So here are the proposed banners. If you recall, the couple buildings or lots across the street were now vacant due to a fire which occurred some time back. So the Main Street Department is proposing to install some banners that showcase some of the development that will be occurring downtown through the D3 project, as well as potentially some facade concepts of the buildings that will go in place. They've went ahead and crafted these banners here, which just have some general slogans about the city. While I don't believe the ordinance allows for the Historic Preservation Board to specifically approve the banners, because it's not, these aren't changes to buildings, we do want to receive feedback, take a look at them, and let us know what you think, and we can work in some of those changes. And I believe we do have some staff from Main Street as well that are here.
Thank you. Any discussion or comments?
None.
What are the banner sizes? Did I miss that in the description?
They span both lots, Mr. Medina, or just a portion of the fencing?
It will be both lots. It'll be completely covered. The banners measure 8 feet tall by 30 feet long. It'll be a total of 6 banners as is being proposed.
Anything else? All right, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So move, Anderson.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye, Anderson.
Meeting is hereby closed. Thank you all.